All right, let's get this rolling.
All right.
So episode 3. Definitely not the third week, but
No,
we're back.
Took a little time off in between. That's all right though. Holidays.
Little breather,
Yeah.
little reset.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're just now joining us, my name is Hunter,
And my name is Kane.
and
My boss is a dick.
So dude,
Yeah.
let me lay this on you.
All right.
What would you say if I told you that one of the most iconic TV shows of our childhood is back?
I would say which one?
Kind of that 70s show, but it's under that 90s show. Eric and Donna Have a Daughter.
Yeah. It's on my list. I've got to watch it still. It just dropped.
So you knew about it already?
I'd heard about it. Yes.
Dude, I watched the first 3 episodes last night when it dropped.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a little bit of divide from people thinking it's a little bit too childish, but I think they're on the right path. They actually took some actual kids and make them teenagers.
Yeah. Instead
Rather
of the
than,
older kids.
Yeah, I mean, Mila Kunis in that 70s show started when she was 13, 14.
Yeah.
And lied to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure everybody on this show is probably about 15 or 16 now.
Oh yeah, they definitely didn't lie.
No, I think the average everybody was 17 or 18 the first time around.
Yeah, that sounds
right. I know 15 and 16 isn't much different, but they actually look like the ages they're supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's a lot of growth, a lot of hormones, a lot of changes. It'll make a difference.
Certainly one way to put it. But yeah, dude, I'm just excited to kind of relive one of our most iconic shows and kind of see where the story takes us 15 years later.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the ones that I would say it had the best sense of the humor of its audience.
Mm-hmm.
It was always really good to watch. The plot was always interesting, but not devastatingly heavy or anything.
Yeah. See, here's the crazy thing to me is guess what year it's taking place?
The 90s.
Well, yes, but specifically 1995.
Oh, our birth year.
Yeah, it's
Do you know what month?
No. Well, actually, yes, I do. 4th of July weekend is when the show starts.
Oh, I was born.
I wasn't.
Yes.
I still had
Few months.
about a month, or I had about exactly a month and 4 days.
Yeah, and I would have been, let's see, about 4 months old. Almost.
That's wild.
Almost 5.
That's insane. No, I guess I'm one of these people they hooked in pretty easily because I love these nostalgia bait shows.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think they're all good. I just have always loved the idea of where are they now kind of things.
No, I always, the more continuation of a story I can get, the longer I can get those characters and their whole life development, the more I enjoy it.
As long as it's
good.
Yes, good. I don't want just a thrown together show for the sake of a TV show.
No, I want it to be as good as investing as the original when I watch it.
100%. And for me, granted, I never really got into Fuller House.
Yeah, I never really watched that one either.
I tried to give Girl Meets World a chance because I was when I was growing up, Boy Meets World wasn't a Disney show. It was an ABC show.
Yes.
And so they got away with a lot more. And so whenever Disney decided to reboot it, they brought back the original cast. But I was first off, it's a Disney show. I'm not sure if I want to watch that at this point in my life.
Yeah.
But I was I'll give it a shot just to see. There were parts that were pretty cool, but there were parts that were intensely Disneyfied and just made,
See, ever since Disney moved to almost entirely live action, I've not really been a fan of any of these shows. I've never really watched it. I haven't had the urge.
Well,
I've seen episodes here and there when it first transitioned, but I've never seen anything new.
Well, it just irks me that everything is so similar and doesn't take risks.
That's what I'm saying. It's all just old school TV sitcom feeling, but it's all
either that or
stuff.
either that or the animation is just so random.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I understand the absurdist Gen Z humor stuff because we're kind of born in that cusp of it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
I think it's a little too absurd now though. Because I'm down for absurd stuff. We had absurd shows when we were older, but not an adult yet.
Yeah, see, it reminds me of and granted, I know that I'm going to say that this is from our generation towards the tail of it, but I'm also going to say that this isn't exactly like something I liked.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you remember like it was, I mean, I don't know if it was like strictly like an emo thing or whatever, or like an alternative thing, but like when people will go and like out of nowhere they go awkward turtle, or like awkward silence, gay baby was born, or something like that.
I don't know. Let's call it more scene. Like a scene mo.
For sure. But it's like, at the same time, that's what this new humor reminds me of, but just like if you took that humor and put it on a crack pipe.
I was about to say, yeah, I get where you're coming from, and I definitely think that might be a basis for it, but it's definitely like turned up to 12.
Well, like, have you seen, I mean, I know like this is going to be a great, this actually might be a great example. Have you seen the newer episodes of like SpongeBob?
Yes. And well, I don't know if I've ever watched a full new episode of SpongeBob.
I mean, me either.
Like, I've seen parts of it.
I get like clips on TikTok and stuff like that.
I've seen enough to know what it's about.
Yeah, but like when it was original and like the original creator Steve Hillenburg was around, when it was actually kind of like a cool show.
It was a really cool show.
Yeah, but
no question.
But now like they rely on like the weird, like they change the animation and the feature, like they'll like say smell something gross and like you'll flash to one of them's face. And they have the weirdest design of their face now, and it's all contorted.
Yeah, the flash cuts of the faces. Yeah. And they're not like the old ones, because they used to do that. But they used to be good because it was like a realistically drawn style, and it was like a still image almost.
Yeah.
Yes. And I thought that was like, it was enough of a... Because if you do like face cuts, clip cuts, things like that, you want it to be jarring, in my opinion. Because you want it to have some meaning, not just be some random thing that happened.
Yeah, you don't want a jump scare.
Yeah, exactly.
Which it's weird because that's what it feels like.
Well, and they've just made them so dumb now. Like, they're always like stupid, but they weren't just like complete idiots like they are now.
Yeah, I mean, like even things that were like maybe a little ahead of our time, like Ren and Stimpy, like they were stupid.
Yes,
but they weren't like vapid with no.
Or there was like whatsoever. More of a dynamic. There was like one who had like really dumb ideas, but was like a fully functioning, like, smart individual. And then there was one that would be, like, maybe a little more grounded, but they would just be, like, really dumb, like, chaotic ditzy, you know?
That gives me Pinky and the Brain vibes.
Well, I was thinking Pinky the Brain, Angry Beavers, Cat Dog. There's a dynamic going on.
Yeah, you have, like...
Ren and Stimpy.
It's the classic TV trope of, like, the goofy guy and the straight man.
Yeah, but they're both they're both a little dumb, and they're both funny.
Which is what makes it funny to kids. Like, you have to have them both a little dumb for them to get into, like, weird hijinks together.
Yeah. But, like, I thought that was fine. I like those shows. Those are good. But you can't just have it all be complete, utter nonsense the entire time.
I totally agree. I mean, honestly, one of the things that I've liked the most, I think that's part of the reason I like adult animation now, is the fact that you get like really good stories with the limits, or I guess lack thereof limits of animation. You can make anything
there's
happen.
So many more possibilities. That's what I've always loved about animation also.
Yeah, like you can literally go to space in animation. I mean, not literally, but like you can draw that and it's there.
Yeah.
You're not like faking some sort of like green screen thing that takes you out of it.
Yeah, or a show that's kind of like that I always really liked was I don't know if you ever watched it. It's kind of one of those forgotten lore type of shows. Chalk Zone.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I ever watched it much, but it definitely was like
I always absolutely loved it.
Yeah, because they had like, didn't they like do? They had full episodes, but they were like segments in like smaller episodes, and sometimes they would play them like not as bumpers, but they would do like a few between episodes.
It's the old school format of two segmented episodes in one, two 15-minute segmented episodes that were unrelated unless it was like a major storyline, and then it was like the full time.
What really threw me off, since you said 15-minute things, it's actually 11.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Half the time.
Oh, yeah.
Half the block.
It's weird to me that like
that there's like 8 minutes of ads for every 30 minutes of block.
Because it's like, you know, if you look at old TV shows, and like a 30-minute episode, if you find it on Netflix as a rerun, it's 22 minutes.
Yes.
And then like if you have an hour-long episode, I think it's like 42.
Yeah, it's something even crazier because not only do they do the blocks in between, like the 15-minute mark, but they do the 30-minute mark also, a little longer.
Another thing that really used to piss me off too, I think some shows still do it, but you would have like you'd have a show come back from commercial break for like 2 minutes, then it would go back to commercial break again.
Yeah, it'd be like just the clip cut re-entry, and then it would be like, the lead off gag to the next scene.
Yeah.
And it would cut off again.
Yeah, that infuriated me even as a child.
Yeah, it just made no sense. It's like, you don't have to keep me here in the middle of the commercials just because you want to run them longer.
Well, and it's like, back in those days, if you had to pee, you couldn't pause it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So
I was just thinking about that.
And I was like rushing back from the bathroom in time, and then
it's like over immediately. Yeah. You can go back.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I could have had another minute, and you could have just postponed
Or like
this.
you're microwaving something or making a bowl of cereal or a sandwich,
and
you
have
then
to be out of the
leave
room.
it on the counter half done.
Yeah, because you don't have a phone to take the TV with you everywhere you go.
Or you can't pause it. You couldn't pause it back then, by the way, kids.
Yeah, that was so... I say stupid. I actually really like that idea.
And it wasn't the new age pause where you pause indefinitely and it starts automatically where it was. It was when we finally had a pause feature for the first time.
Oh, like
on
live TV?
On like satellite TV. Yeah, you can pause live stuff. It was you pause it and it starts a timer, and if you come back and unpause it, you're just that far behind live broadcast constantly. And there would be a limit to it. And if you hit that limit, it just started playing again. You were out of pause time, baby.
I did not know that because I never had that.
It was like a 2-hour limit.
I mean, I guess that's reasonable, but like at the same time, if you're going to be paused for 2 hours, why don't you just stop watching anyway?
Because I want to watch it, but I want to go do something else. Or I have to go do something else.
I think that's why like the DVR stuff took off so well.
See, we never really had DVR.
We didn't either, but like I liked the concept.
Now, my mom used to record cartoons for me every morning while I was at school.
On VHS?
On VHS tapes. That's exactly right. You pop that bad boy in the VCR, plug up to the TV with the coax cables, red, white, and yellow, and then you come home from school, and I would watch the whole, 3-hour block of cartoons.
Hell yeah.
Just recorded on DVDs and labeled like a date.
Yeah, like I used to have...
VCR tapes.
I used to have some bootleg cartoons.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Man, I really miss VCRs and VCR tapes. I know that sounds weird.
There was a total, like, even visually, there was a different vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it was just more of an experience. It wasn't, I'm going to put on whatever I want after I spend 30 minutes looking through 8,000 different objects that I can consume, and then I'm going to stop partway through because I've lost interest. It was, I'm going to watch this whole thing through, and then I'm going to put it in a VCR rewinder, wait the requisite amount of time for it to slowly rewind the entire movie, and then play it 5 more times that day in that same fashion.
And you know what's wild to me is the fact that, like, for a long time, even VCRs didn't have a rewind button. You had to have the rewinder.
No, yeah, we had a separate rewinder. Our VCRs never rewound anything.
See, ours did, but, like, I think we just, like, splurged a little bit and got it.
Yeah.
But it's like, that was like dope. The nicest thing we had.
The dope thing about it was you could back-to-back double feature constantly. So while you're rewinding the first tape, you put in a second one you want to watch, and then you pop back out the first one and rewind the second one. You can alternate.
You know what we had for a while that was like top-tier technology?
What?
Right when it first like came on the scene, but when it was like being like widely transferred to DVD, we had a VHS to DVD burner. And you could either choose to watch the VHS while it's burning.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could just let it burn. But it was also a player. So, I mean, you had a VHS and DVD combo. But there was a burn option, and you could watch or not while you're doing it. You could just put it in there and burn it while you're like doing your dishes.
That's actually pretty cool. I remember burning my own CDs.
Yeah.
I had a laptop that was actually a burner also. It would burn on there and write CDs. Mm-hmm. So we would buy tubes of blank CDs.
I've still got some.
Yeah, and we would like put stuff from like the video camera on there. Mm-hmm. When I say video camera, I mean the one where you have to pop out we had one, it used to be tapes, little
tiny tapes?
Yeah, little tiny tapes. But we had one, Mom did one year when we finally like upgraded it, mm-hmm. and it had the mini discs like the GameCube had.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Underused format, by the way. I don't even know if it's a good format. It was just interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it took something you knew and flipped it on its head a little bit.
Well, it's like, I feel like this is holding just as much content as everything else, but it's like a third of the size, so it doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, And
I
see,
always wondered if, because I didn't know like numbers and stuff back then for like media sizes.
yeah.
I always wondered if they physically held less or not. Surely, but I don't know.
See, I kept my like all our little mini cassettes,
Yeah.
and I still have the blank VHS tape that puts it in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really like I've been thinking about getting a VHS, like a VCR, and like watching because like they're all of our old like recorded stuff, and I would just love to see like
Oh yeah, and
all the
like
old
for the
stuff.
longest, you wouldn't just like nowadays you make a video of fucking whatever. Like whenever you want, you'll make a little video of whatever's happening in front of you, right?
Mhm.
And then, but back then, and like you'll record a concert or whatever or something, but you'll do like a long form video, right?
Right.
But back then, you only recorded big events and things like that, or like
Yeah.
holidays and stuff, because one, it was expensive to go buy blank VHS tapes to record onto, and two, it was such a like a high tech piece of machinery,
Yeah.
you just didn't use it all the time.
It was almost seen as like formal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like we had the video camera, the VCR recorder, not
Yeah.
VCR recorder,
Camcorder.
camcorder. Yeah, I think it was a different acronym. But anyways, I digress. You'd get them out for like mom would. You can't open anything. You can't touch any presents or move anything around the living room until mom had the camcorder going.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a staple.
Because you had the camcorder all of Christmas until you were done opening everything.
See, I think we did that maybe for a couple of Christmases, and I think my parents got really tired of that and just started taking
Mom
pictures.
records on her telephone to this day, Christmas morning.
See, like I think that's cool. That does give me like a slight rant to go on real quick though.
Yeah.
You said something about like how, now we just record anything.
Mm-hmm.
That and your little VHS spiel
Yes.
gave me it filled me with this feeling of like, man, we're so spoiled for choice now.
Oh, don't get me started on
Like,
that.
We have like, okay, we complain every day that HBO and Netflix are getting rid of these shows that we love, and that's, we're saying basically they don't have anything left. That's not true. They don't have anything left you want to watch.
Yeah, they have everything
so
on
much,
there.
and-
Absolutely everything. And it's impossible to find anything you want to watch most of the time.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I think, like, when you said something about VHS player or like VHS tapes and like old school cable, I kind of miss being like, hey, look, you've got option A, option B, maybe option C. Choose what you want.
Yeah.
And then like you sit down, you watch it. But like, and yeah, it might not be what you want to watch, but it took so much of the decision making out of your hands where you're just like, you know what? If I have to choose between A and B, I'd rather watch this one. So that's fine.
And you know what? To touch on that, I feel like, and this is kind of controversial, and I argue a point against it. The only point against it, TV and cinema and movies, and everything.
Yeah.
Sure, there are better movies and new movies that are like groundbreaking and shit, and there's some stuff with like good stories and stuff, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the vast majority of movies and TV shows nowadays are just of a shit quality. And we're spoiled for choice, but the reason you still can't find anything is because everything is dookie dog water.
Dookie dog water, I like that. But see, here's the thing though. It's like, you're not wrong, because if you go on Amazon's the worst about this.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on Amazon, like Prime, like video, and let me tell you, there is some weird shit on there.
Oh, yeah.
I have found college dissertation videos to be streamed on Prime for some reason.
Bro, I gotta go look for those.
There are college courses being streamed.
That sounds fantastic, actually. That sounds like a good time.
I've watched some. They're really weird, but like you said, like, yeah, it's one of those morbid curiosity things.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I sat through a class one day.
No, but
I didn't understand anything though.
I think that there used to be a higher median quality to TV shows and movies because producers and companies and executives and movie studios and TV studios and whatnot,
Yeah.
they knew it had to be good enough for someone to want to watch it over something else, so they actually put effort into the shit they made then.
Yeah, that actually does make sense because, like, I think a lot, like, for especially for like younger kids content now.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, everything is like tailored to a younger audience now. Also, I feel like
it's dumbed down to the least common denominator is what it is.
yes,
But like, you know, I'm sure there are some like there's still some really good like educational or like good content children's shows and stuff.
oh
But,
yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, like
I-
the actual like kid shows, like
Yeah.
learn what shapes and colors and letters and numbers
Well, I
and
mean,
spelling are.
things like Bluey and stuff like that they talk like that are in like
I've
the zeitgeist now.
seen people do like TikToks and shit about that. Like
I've heard it's
moms and
actually
stuff.
really good.
I couldn't tell you anything about the show. They just like talk about
Well,
like
apparently-
watching, let Bluey woke her up, woke my kid up.
Well, apparently, like Bluey, parents even like there's enough for both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Um,
always like shows that you can like your parents would watch with you. It was always fun to have that.
Yeah, because like I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know, like I was never like my parents won't watch this with me, but it was
Oh,
always
yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
cooler
Like,
when
I
you're
didn't- I
when you
didn't
would like hook
care,
your
but
parents in
yeah,
and
it
like
was
they would
always
sit down and
cool.
watch it. Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, because especially if I was enjoying the show, because then it's like I'm sitting here enjoying it, and my parents are sitting here watching it,
That's
so
how you
I
knew it
know
was
I've made
cool.
a good choice. Yeah,
yeah, because it was like that's also kind of what gave you like your first sense of like, oh, I can kind of control the TV and what we watch because I can be like, look,
yeah.
this is
you
on
knew, You knew if you put certain cartoons on, your dad wouldn't bitch and change the channel.
exactly, and so you kind of
Like dad always fucked with certain cartoons.
yeah,
And he always fucked with Jimmy Neutron.
that's funny.
He always fucked with Jimmy Neutron, and he always fucked with Phineas and Ferb. And Mom will I'll be talking to Mom on the phone or whatever because she'll just call me every once in a while. We'll talk for a few hours
Mhm.
and catch up and stuff, you know. And she'll tell me stuff that's going on. And she'll talk about Dad walking because it's just her and Dad in the house most of the day now because
Yeah.
everyone's out of school. Both me and my two little brothers are all graduated high school and stuff.
Right.
And Kyle's the only one that still is at the house because Cole's off at college in the dorms or his rented quad or whatever.
Mhm.
But and she'll be like, yeah, he just came and put on this cartoon the other day, this TV show.
That's funny you say that. My dad always liked Phineas and Ferb as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Jimmy Neutron. I know he hated SpongeBob. Oh, he didn't hate SpongeBob. He just really didn't like it.
Dad really didn't like SpongeBob either.
But it's funny because I've talked to my dad about this, and I've even come home from school sometimes.
Yeah.
My dad would be sitting in the house watching Drake and Josh by himself.
Yeah.
Or like watching Phineas and Ferb by himself.
Yeah, Dad would watch Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah, and he would be he would watch that one too. And like I'd be like I'd kind of joke with him about it. He's like, actually, it's a pretty good show. Like, I'll sit and watch
some
it.
of the live action. That was when they first started doing live action like kid shows instead of like just cartoons, or at least first when we were of the age
Yeah.
to like watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And those were actually really good back then because they put in a lot of effort to differentiate them from the cartoons.
Well, that and when my dad, not when my dad, but like when I was little, my dad would definitely watch cartoons with me more often because I used to watch a lot of the Boomerang stuff, which was his cartoons.
Yeah. Boomerang was always awesome. We only had it part of the time though. We had it. So we've always been a Dish Network family, right? Not DirecTV.
Right.
By the way, those are your only two choices.
Yeah, weirdly enough, y'all were Dish, we were DirecTV.
Yeah. So we could go to each other's houses and watch stuff. It was always really dope that way. But we at one point had Dad got from one of his friends at work a pirated DVR.
What?
Like, not DV for DirecTV, a pirated box for a satellite TV box
so you
for
had
DirecTV. So we had the card you could just put in and watch DirecTV
Yeah.
channels, and that was like an upgraded package
Which-
one.
Thinking about that now, it's kind of funny. That's like switching at your swim card.
Yeah, well,
Did I say swim? I meant sim.
I got some words to say about that one.
What, switching out Sims?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, Mom, we keep trying to get Dad to upgrade his phone, right? And you you can let me know if this sounds home any. But
if it sounds what?
if it sounds like it hits home any for
Oh,
you.
okay.
But Dad won't like get a new phone like under contract and stuff because he won't pay installments because you cannot outright buy a new phone anymore.
I mean, you can, but you have to buy it like straight from the company, basically.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what I'm saying. You can't buy it from like AT&T. Like they won't sell you a new phone anymore outright.
Really?
Yeah. You have to get installment plans.
Well, did you know, like, to put a little pin in this real quick?
Uh-huh.
Did you know on Verizon now the standard contract is 3 years?
Yeah, they're like 30-year contract, 30-month contracts. Sorry. This is your phone
Here's
now.
my iPhone 5 from like 13 years ago.
Like they're like 30.
One of these
they're
days.
like 33-month contracts now.
Yeah.
You used to be able to get like 15-month contracts, but I think they might have done away with those also.
Yeah, we could extend it a little bit and make it a little.
I think they have 24 and like 36-month now contracts. At least
Yeah.
AT&T.
Well, that's the thing is like
It's like a 2-year and a 3-year.
I think you could still get a 2-year contract through Verizon, but and honestly, I don't blame them for it. Because what they did is they did 3 years to offset the prices of phones going up.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
that
Because they're
was
way
cool.
more expensive phones now.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool but here's the thing. Here's where it pissed me off. You can't just like say if you have like, say it's $1,000 phone,
Mm-hmm.
you've paid most of it off, and you have like $600 left on the phone.
You can't go pay off.
You can't you can't pay a little bit more. You have to either pay it off or only pay what you owe.
Yeah, the monthly stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't pay it off like halfway through the contract.
Yeah, I mean you can, but basically if you okay, you can't pay extra unless you pay it off. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, I got what you're saying.
Like because every once in a while,
If your bill is $24, you can't spend $50 a month on your bill.
yeah, which I think is like stupid, honestly. But anyway, back to your thing. Is that all of it, or
No. I haven't even gotten to the actual point of it yet.
okay?
I'm just explaining the situation.
I got you.
Anyways, he won't upgrade his phone, right? He won't get anything new because they'll have installment plans.
Mm-hmm.
And so his last 2 for sure, maybe 3 like new phones were just my old phones.
Okay.
Whenever his phone would break, like I keep my phones. I don't trade them in.
Okay.
I fully pay off my contract so I can keep my old phone in case I need a backup.
Yeah.
And the last like 2 new phones he's gotten after his phones have broken have been my old phones, and I just pop his SIM card out of his old phone and put it in the new one.
Yeah.
So I don't even fucking know what AT&T thinks his phone is on this plan listed as.
Oh, that is interesting. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, because your SIM card is still listed as your old phone. It just still works in your new phone.
Huh. See, I don't even have a SIM card now. I have eSIM.
Which phone do you have?
This is the iPhone 14.
Interesting. I was not even aware that they got rid of SIM cards.
Oh, you can do a physical one, but this one just like I just.
So what makes it different?
You can transfer this to new phones.
How does it work though?
There's I believe a code when you if you still have your old phone, you find your on the new phone it will say something about set up eSIM, and either there's like a QR code or you put in like your account information through the service you use.
Yeah.
But it was really cool and like
so it's like signing up for a website, but signing that you're living your life out of this object.
Kinda.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because like with a SIM card, there's a little bit of anonymity because you can just pop it in different devices and they have no idea what you're currently using as your phone.
Well, the thing is, I still have a physical SIM card in my old phone because, like you, I do the exact same thing, and that's something that like I think I finally put my parents on.
Yeah.
Because they used to be like, "Oh, trade it in, you'll get more off," and it's like,
Yeah.
no, because like if my phone breaks, I still have a phone.
No, we would always keep all of me and Mom were like the only two. First off, Mom was the only one with a cell phone from the dawning of cell phones.
Yeah.
Like, Dad never had one.
Well,
we
your
never
dad
had
never
one.
seems like the kind of guy who would want one.
It did not. Hated it when he first got it. Uses it all the time now. Gets on Facebook at work and shit. You know?
How
Well,
I
he used
know.
to when he was like a machinist. Now he works in a Target warehouse and he's actually working all day. But he's like up for like a pretty good position maybe.
Huh.
So, but Mom was the only one that had a phone.
Yeah.
And then I finally got a phone for the first time in like it was 9th grade because I was in high school band then, and we would have practice like at night and stuff. And Mom didn't want to sit there through the whole practice or whatever, so you needed a phone so you could call her to come pick you up from like after school activities and
You're
shit,
right.
and events and stuff that you'd have to leave town for and stuff. But that's and I was the second person in the family to have a phone, and then I was the only one to have a phone, and for a long time after that too. Like I don't know if Dad got a phone until maybe like Cole and Kyle were both born for sure. Maybe both in school. I don't know. And he got a phone because you need to know about. We used to just have to call his work. You used to have to call your parents at work if you wanted to get a hold of them at any point during the day.
Oh yeah. And like, I mean, granted, like, cell phones I think were a little bit more policed back then. Like they still had cell phones, but also they had minutes. So they were like, "Don't call me."
Yeah. You
call
had
my
to,
work.
You had to conserve your time. It was like playing a real-time strategy game. You had to conserve your resources and like choose on what to spend them on, except for nights and weekends because those are free.
Yeah. Or like the early bird hours or something like that.
Yes, like after 9 o'clock until so many whatever
5
a.m. Yeah, whatever a.m. in the morning. Any call every day of the week was free, and then Saturdays and Sundays you call all 48 hours for free.
Yeah, it was pretty nice actually.
Yeah.
But honestly, I kind of miss that stuff. Because here's what I was gonna get at earlier, with the spoiled for choice and the whole like everybody like videoing everything all the time.
Yes.
We've failed to like we don't live in reality anymore. I mean, we do, but we don't. Like
I
we're
don't-
in it, but I think
Uh-huh.
everybody would rather experience it through a screen, and that pisses me off.
I don't take pictures or record anything at all during like events in my life or things that are happening or like stuff that I go to.
Yeah.
Not a single bit, and so I can only ever get pictures of myself doing different things from other people's pictures.
Well, and see, here's the thing. Like,
Because I refuse, and I just want to live in the moment, so I actually experience it
Thank
and remember
you.
it.
like I don't mind a little bit of something, or if somebody wants to take a group
Yeah,
picture
it's
or
like take a
something,
group picture. I'm like, oh
But-
yeah, here, take my phone.
yeah, like it's
But
cool.
I don't actively seek it out or do it.
exactly like
I don't
That-
do videos unless it's like fireworks. And I want to send
yeah,
them to
like
somebody.
if I'm at a concert, I'll do like
but only one video.
yeah, maybe 2 at the top.
Yes.
It's usually like I want to get a.
It's like
something-
one when you're first there, and then one during the part of the concert you've been waiting for the whole time.
Yes, exactly. And then the rest of the time, I just kind of want to like.
And and only
Vibe.
like a minute or two videos. They're not like even the whole song or anything.
Oh God, no! First off, I don't want to hold my phone up that long.
Yes.
But like, yeah, I feel like too many people just like, for instance, like, why do you need a picture of your coffee? Are you gonna look at that in 20 years and go, God, I really remember that day?
Damn, that was a good ass fucking coffee.
Exactly, and it's like, come on, dude. Like, I get we can, but just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Oh yeah, and people don't think about that at all for any aspect of their life nowadays. By the way.
It's painfully obvious. It just like, why do you need a Snapchat to say that you and your friend went and like, got your nails done or something?
Yeah.
Like, dude, just be a person.
I don't use Twitter at all, and I think it's the stupidest platform.
Look, I'm gonna be totally transparent. I do music, and that's great and all, but the worst part about all of this is having to have social media. Because here's the thing.
I've thought
You have
about
to-
that, and I just can't stand the thought of doing that.
Yeah, like the promotion side of it, first off, is soul sucking. Because like, okay, I'll get on a weird little tangent, like mini tangent. Is that like there's a thing that Tyler the Creator said a while back, which really does like it changed my perspective on things.
Uh-huh.
And that quote was like, all these people are out here scared to like promote their music and promote their, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But he was like, especially with music, he's like, you gotta fuck with your own shit, because if you don't fuck with your own shit, who else is gonna?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that does change the way I view it. But at the same time, like, I just wish I could do the creative side and be done with it. Because, like, having to think of ideas for content that aren't, like, the kind of content that you make.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see TikToks all the time where I'm like, that's a cool TikTok, especially from other bands. And I'm like, but the thing is, I'm either so far, or I'm usually so far behind on the trend
Yeah.
that by the time I do it, it's like over,
Exactly.
or like, I just, it just seems forced.
But in the amount of effort you really have to put into it to create a good TikTok also.
Yes. Oh God, yeah. But here's the thing that really makes me mad is that, like, first off, a lot of these like people on TikTok now, like, they only know 15 seconds of a song.
All they know is eat hot chip, shake ass.
No, I kid you not. I've been seeing some interviews from some of these bands and saying, like, you can tell which kids are from TikTok because, like, when you get to the song that you play, they will bring their phones up only for the portion of that sound. He's like, it's the weirdest stuff.
Oh, that's hilarious. I never even considered that.
Yeah, there are
That's
kids.
funny.
There are kids that go to concerts of a whole band for 15 seconds of one song now.
It's like, sorry, bro, I need this meta sound clip.
Exactly. And I'm like, apparently there were...
Can you imagine if you told your great-great-great-grandfather that shit?
Totally didn't just drop my phone on the floor, but anyway.
Can you imagine if you told your great-great-great-grandfather, like, explain that whole phenomena to him? What he would think of that?
Speaking of TikTok trends, this whole concept should belong in one of those, like, things that would make like a Victorian kid go in a coma.
Things that someone's going to listen to this podcast obscurely in 40 years when the internet is a wasteland of abandoned content.
It's just built into your consciousness now.
And they're going to find this and they're just not going to know what's going on at all. They're going to have no idea what TikTok is.
Podcast?
Yeah, we've been converted like 2 times in a historical textbook just to explain what a podcast used to be because they're like cyber beings now.
That would be weird. If you can't tell, some edibles have been taken.
You just gotta explore your thoughts.
100%. No, it really does kind of bother me though, because like, I hate hanging out with people and you look up and it's this.
Staring at their phone. Yes.
And like, don't get me wrong. There's like, if you're reading something or you're looking at something, and it's not constant. I'm not talking about you. It's the people who like live back here. And like it's
people do be on their phones constantly.
All the time.
Yeah, some people are constantly.
Yeah, and like there are days I get home. It's honestly a lot now. That like almost every day actually. I get home, I put my phone down.
Yeah.
I don't look at it for hours.
Bro, I do that too. I do it during the day sometimes.
It's so nice. Like the other night, I sat out on my porch at like midnight, just enjoying nature.
Well, when we lived at in the burbs in Alan's house,
Oh yeah.
I would just take the lawn chair out of the garage and I would just go sit in the
driveway.
Yeah, in the driveway at night, and I would just like drink a beer and smoke a cigar and like stare up at the stars with some music on.
It's perfect. Like, you know what I miss? When we were kids and had bonfires.
No, but I haven't heard of someone having a bonfire in years.
But yeah, I hate that like people just don't.
I remember going to like
consider.
They might have like pasture parties now, but it's not like going out and having a bonfire in a pasture at night.
Well, and like I never went to them, but like I remember like the stories of the parties from high school, where like, a few people ran from the cops. Some of them woke up. I remember a story. I do remember who. I'm not gonna name names, but like I remember somebody telling me that they went to a party on a Friday night, and Saturday morning they woke up on the green of our local golf course.
Bro, I miss our old golf course. Not that the new one isn't nice. I'm sure it's lovely, but it's like so modern and like the TV idea of a golf course where it's like all
it's like perfect and renovated.
Yeah, it's like all perfect. It's like they actually have like they don't let other people like in. It's all gated off. You got to be a member to be in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
the golf course used to just be like open. The local like city golf course.
There's very few of them now that don't like require a membership.
Bro, when we had the old one, people would like because they'd hire like high school kids to like work up there.
Yeah.
And we would just go like swim in the pool. They would all kinds of people. I say we, but there was like multiple groups of people. Like anyone who had someone in their group that worked up there would just like go swim in the pool at night when they're closed and stuff.
See, like the membership thing kind of bugs me because for so long, like I didn't play golf. Like I went to like lessons and stuff.
I went to one golf lesson with you, and that was it.
Yeah, and like I didn't take a bunch of lessons either. Like it was like a little summer camp that was like every Saturday for a month or two.
Yeah.
Like you didn't learn a lot. You just kind of learned the basics. But like that's what sucks about like kind of getting back into it now is that like everything's a membership.
Yeah, I know. You can't just go pay and play anywhere anymore.
You can, but I only know of like 2 places.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's only like
Top
2
Golf is good shit though. I went to that for the first time, maybe 2 years ago before Corona.
Top Golf is in my top 3 like hangout ideas at all.
Top Golf is a lot of fun. But you
so
got to
good.
go to the second story.
Have you been to the ones with 3 stories?
Well, an upper floor.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, upper floor does help. Makes
it's a better experience overall.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. Is like while I understand it's half video game, half driving range.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on the base floor, it just feels more like driving range.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when
exactly.
you're up higher and can kind of see it from the top, it feels more like a game.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun.
Just, be careful with the food because that
And
shit
watching
gets
people
expensive.
absolutely whack that ball like over the back of the net, like the net at the back of the course, going over it. And
You know who
stuff.
is surprisingly amazing at Topgolf?
Huh?
Jax.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Like, he hits the white target like 80% of the time.
Cut this out.
Anyway, speaking of Topgolf, in San Antonio, there's a Topgolf that's right next door to this place called Andretti's.
Oh yeah, I know what that chain is.
And dude,
A chain or a store? I know.
It's one of those things like.
Don't they have multiple of them though?
Yeah, it's a small
yeah,
chain.
it's like a franchise thing.
Yeah, it's owned by Mario Andretti.
Yeah, I know that.
But like it has like 2 different courses for go-karts. It has laser tag, a huge arcade like Dave and Buster's, a bowling alley, a full bar.
Went to Dave and Buster's for the first time last year.
Oh my god, Dave and Buster's is nice.
It was pretty fun. We got the little unlimited cards.
See, and that's the cool thing about like Andretti's. It's like, I mean, it's not as big as Dave and Buster's, but you have like a Dave and Buster's and a bowling alley and all that together.
Mm-hmm.
And then having that next door to Topgolf.
Yeah.
Man, when we were down there, we booked a Topgolf thing. The wait was like an hour and some change.
Mm-hmm.
We went next door to Andretti's, rode go-karts, played a couple rounds of laser tag, played some arcade games, and then they called us to tell us our Topgolf was ready. Went over there and played 2 hours of Topgolf. It was fantastic.
That sounds like a good time.
It was a fantastic time. I
Bruh,
love that.
Speaking of good times, some of the best like vacation or like trips I've ever taken
Yeah.
have been like best man trips.
Oh yeah. Like a like a bachelor party kind of
Bachelor
thing.
parties, yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't remember that term.
I couldn't either. That's why I said best man trips. But yeah, having bachelor parties.
We're actually, it has nothing to do with the wedding. We just have a competition to see who's the best male.
That would be so much fun though.
Who is the goodest boy?
Like a camping trip, that'd be so much fun.
I would love, honestly, that's another thing I want to do.
I've wanted to go camping for so many years now.
I've had
haven't been.
I've had very few like this sounds bad by saying I've had very few goals. I've had very few like life goals, like things that have nothing to do with work or career or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That like other than just like get healthier and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But like one of the things that I've wanted to do, which I've started to do, I want to get to a point where I can completely detach myself from this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never be able to fully do it because speaking of this is my
You talking
phone.
about like a New Year's resolution?
No, just because I mean this isn't tied down to any year. It's just like
It's
a
just
general
every
thing.
year.
Yeah. Well, it's like it would be cool to get to a point where I could run social media and like stuff like that through an iPad or a computer, and then have like a basic phone.
Yeah.
And, like I can use the internet anytime I
People
want to.
who live off of iPads amaze me.
Well, like my thing is like I want to be able to like put the phone down and not like keep picking it up just out of habit. Like
Yeah.
and if I had like a phone that just did calls and texts and stuff, which I mean there's very few of those left.
You want a pager with a speaker?
Maybe. I mean not really. That would require a phone regardless because you can't call on a pager. But
I say
like
with a speaker.
yeah, but
That's all the first cell phones were, just little pagers that you could type numbers in and talk into.
I mean yeah, it's just a telephone, but portable. You kind of complicated it there for a bit, but
No.
no, I mean, and I wouldn't even mind having an iPhone. It's just that I don't want to be like I don't want it to feel like another part of my body.
How you like the fact that your phone Bluetooth to your car now, and and the cars come like fully integrated automatically with support for like Android and iPhone Play and stuff, like CarPlay and whatnot. And it's basically like making your car a telephone.
Yeah, I've thought about that.
And for the longest time, they got rid of the car phone, which was just a telephone mounted in the floorboard of your car or on the dash of your car.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's a bad idea. Let's go with a bag phone. You put it in your bag.
Dude, we also, like, speaking of, like, phones in weird places, we used to have a sectional couch in my house that it had a console that flipped down, 2 cup holders, massage function, and a phone.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Do you remember
baby.
that?
Yes, I do.
That was so wild.
I always love that couch. I love sectional couches more than couch love seat combos. I got to be honest.
Same. First off, much more real estate.
Yeah.
And just like they tend to be more comfortable for some reason.
Exactly. And some of them come with dope stuff like that.
Yeah, and like most of them have like a pull-out
The
bed.
amenities are vastly superior to the maybe electric layback couch and love seat combo.
Yeah.
Maybe electric layback.
My dad had a heated and massaged recliner for
Yeah.
a while, and let me tell you, like I know that's not quite what you're saying, but
Yeah.
like, stuff like that, chef's kiss.
The houses that get the cords plugins mounted in the floor for underneath their sectionals.
Great idea.
I feel like that's the modern equivalent of a conversation pit.
By the
Plugs
way,
in the floors where your
by
furniture
the
goes.
way, 100%. Like when I get to the point where I can like have a custom built home,
Yeah.
conversation pit.
Oh yeah, I think that would be
Bring
amazing.
back the mid-century modern home, or at least
Absolutely,
that idea.
that style.
Like a recessed.
I'm
den.
ready for it to come back.
Sunken living rooms, man. Can't
Yes.
beat 'em.
That
Like-
concept is so cool to me, and it increases your ceiling height so much.
That, and honestly, what a smoke spot.
Yeah. Oh, what about a patio conversation pit?
Ooh, that'd be nice. And you could like wash it out with a hose.
What if you could fill the bottom part up with water and drain it?
Now you're onto a thing because it'd be kind of like a little, not a hot tub, but just like a little, like relaxing pool.
Yeah, it's not like all the way up to your neck, like a hot tub. It's like just up to your knees.
Or even like your shoulders, depending on how far in you sink it.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like it only needs to come up to your knees, like that middle square that you would be sitting on with your knee, like
yeah,
bend
almost
over
like
it.
you're sitting on a pier or something.
Yes, yeah, and you get your feet in the water.
Yeah. Oh, that I like that idea. I really do.
And that's easy. You can just filter that. That's easy. You know.
Do like a pool skimmer that constantly like filters out trash and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea.
What if your entire floor is just conversation pits, like hexagonal conversation pits, all stuck together? So it's just like you're walking on beams, you know, like little lines between conversation pits.
That sounds like a nightmare. No, thank you.
Drunk.
Oh my god. It'd be like an American Ninja Warrior. Just go into your bedroom. Make you have to sober up really quick. Either that or you're gonna hurt.
That'd be hilarious. You can't go get your keys and get out the front door unless you go through the American Ninja Warrior course.
Oh my god! Imagine they made the American Ninja Warrior course, but that's your sobriety test.
But
good
for
sobriety.
like the other 90% of Americans who are all like not athletic.
Bro, I've thought about this. Like in my head, I'm an athlete. I'm like, man, I could do the American.
I'm
Ninja
a mental
Warrior.
athlete.
Well, it's like, you know, like I look at like say the American Ninja Warrior course, and I'm like, damn, that looks fun. And then I'm like, but you would last all of 3 seconds.
Sometimes I wonder how far I could get.
Same.
Realistically.
Yeah, like I think I would do good till it came to
I
the
lo-
thing
I
where you're jumping
loved-
like that.
Shout out to G4. RIP
RIP.
for the second time.
Yeah.
Sorry it wasn't as good as the first time, but you didn't put it anywhere I could see it. So,
Yeah, you tried.
yeah, I would have loved to watch it. I really would have.
Where did they put it?
And somewhere I didn't watch.
Probably like Paramount Plus or something.
Yeah, man. I just can't bring myself to get Paramount Plus.
I got the free trial when iCarly got the reboot.
How was that?
Pretty good, actually.
Speaking of reboots, when we started this episode.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of reboots, our childhood is coming back in the form of Power Rangers?
Yes, there's a reunion. It's quite crazy because it's literally been 28 years. And that's like how old we are because it like started in 1995.
Well, I think it was like 92, really. Or no, it's 93.
Yeah.
But it's still about the same. Like, we grew up with it, like, the same way. And, like, man.
Oh, I was talking. Yeah, some of the actors are from like.
Oh, yeah.
It's the 28 reunion of MMPR because they were like the first 3 years, you know.
Yeah.
So it's 28 years since they've been together.
Oh, man. We're on some nerd boy geek shit. I love this. I miss this. It's part of my childhood I will not shy away from. But, like, I think it's so cool to see like these guys come back, and like from what I've heard, it's gonna have a slightly more mature tone.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, because it's like going towards the target demographic of the people who watch the original.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the movie tried to be, but the movie like didn't go heavy enough into it.
You know what really upsets me now that I learned
That they didn't just make a new 2023 version of the original Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze. Oh, it's a 1-for-1 reshoot, but with updated graphics and sound.
I don't know if I would want that. I feel like it would ruin the first one for me. But no, it bothers me that like Jason David Frank, also R.I.P.
Yes.
It really bothers me that like he pushed for that movie, the 2017 movie.
Yeah.
To be more mature, and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I know. Have you ever watched Power Rangers fan-made movies and TV shows?
Oh,
content?
yeah. Well, when I heard that they were gonna like bring back the older Rangers or whatever, like a while back,
yeah,
I got on this like YouTube kick thing, and there's a couple fan-made movies. There was one that was like, honestly, like rated R.
Yeah,
and I was like, it was like they were almost like military.
Yeah,
that shit was cool.
No,
I would have watched that in a heartbeat.
Some of it they don't come out. They come out with one episode like every like 5 to 7 months, you know.
Yeah.
But like some of it is really pretty good. It's pretty good stuff.
I saw this fan made series.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Where like they do these like mixed match of costumes.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Where it's like all these different. It's almost like a comic book storyline they're making up and then filming live action.
Huh. Like, I think I've seen it, but I don't think I've watched it.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons but Power Rangers. And by the way, did you know they have a tabletop RPG game of Power Rangers where you can D&D style your own Power Rangers campaign?
For real?
Yes, it's so cool. I looked at it in a comic book store once.
That's one of those things where I would have not expected that, but I would probably at least play it once.
It's so cool. I might get that book. You know, we'll do something with it.
That could be cool. I'd be pretty down for that.
What if we recorded it and made it like a video or like a D&D podcast?
And
like a spin-off podcast.
That would also be a spin on a genre of podcast. Instead of doing D&D, we would do like Power Ranger.
Bro, on Spotify, so I listen to a lot of D&D Spotify podcasts.
Yeah.
Spodcasts. And
it's not a thing.
It should be the branding.
It will never be a thing.
But anyways, and a lot of tabletop RPG ones in general, like they do other like versions of like rule sets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Different games for tabletop RPG genre. And I've got like really obscure ones that are like on there. Like I'll find out about this tabletop RPG like after I've been playing D&D for like 7 years already and like tried other tabletop RPGs and stuff, and I've never heard of this, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, that sounds interesting, and it's like kind of an older game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go look it up, and there'll be like 8 currently running Spotify podcast about it, running that campaign with that rule set.
That's pretty interesting,
right?
Also, I'm sure pretty helpful.
Like there's a One Piece one.
Really?
Yes.
Hey y'all, Hunter here. My bad, I messed up. We had some technical difficulties and ended up losing in the last couple minutes of the podcast. But thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you on the next one. My name is Hunter.
And I'm Kane.
And
my boss is a dick.